Today we've got maybe the rifle that you learned to shoot with. This is a Ruger 1022. One of the most iconic and most basic rimfire rifles you can get that's semi-automatic. These things are just a heck of a lot of fun. "25 rounds, the BX25. Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. Today I'm very excited to bring you one of the first rifles that I ever shot. This is a Ruger 1022, and it's a very basic semi-auto rimfire rifle, but it's one of the most reliable 22 semi-autos in recorded history, and it is a fantastic gun. So before we start this review, make sure you're subscribed to Sawtooth Tactical and hit that notification bell. So I grew up on a farm, and I remember hiking around on the farm, shooting a 1022 that was just like this. And that was one of the first times I fell in love with shooting. So it's great to have one out here today. It's just a really fun shooting gun. Easy does it. There's just something about 22 long rifle. It's a very fun gun, a plinking round, but also something that you can use for pest control, whatever. It's cheap, it's small, it's light, it doesn't have a lot of powder behind it. So this is also a 22 caliber cartridge. This is 223 or 5.56. This is what most AR-15s shoot. This is 22 LR, long rifle. Now, they both have the same diameter actual projectile, but you can see the difference in how much powder is behind the projectile itself. And so that makes a big difference. When you're shooting 223, it is a loud, very fast round. 22 long rifle, not so loud, not quite as fast. Very, very little recoil. And that's part of the fun of it. Besides that, it's also very cheap. You can go through a lot of 22 long rifle without it costing you a whole lot of money. And that is kind of the beauty of the Ruger 1022. I was going to say 1023 after saying 223 so much. But the 1022 is a 22 long rifle, and it's semi-automatic. And one of the beautiful things about it, a lot of semi-auto rimfires are known to have reliability issues, mainly because of the round itself. It's just not the most reliable round. But Ruger designed the 1022 quite a long time ago, and they perfected it, and it's very reliable. For a semi-auto 22, this thing will go all day. I have shot many Ruger 1022s in my life, and I can't really remember ever having any issues with them. This morning, I shot 110 rounds through this one. Not a single failure of any kind. It just plain works. Now, the 1022 normally comes with this. This is a 10 round rotary magazine. So the bullets actually rotate around through the magazine, and it fits flush inside the rifle. So one great thing about the 1022 is the way it looks. No one's going to try to take away your 1022 like they're looking to ban what they call assault weapons. Now, this is a 22 caliber rifle. This is a 22 caliber rifle. Both of them are semi-automatic. Both of them can feed from what they consider to be high capacity magazines. One of them looks black and scary. One of them does not. And so you will never get the anti-gunners trying to take away your 10-22, which is one of the nice things about it. So besides those 25 round BX25 mags, the 10-22 normally comes with these. These are 10 round flush fit rotary magazines. And they're super reliable. Works every time. And although I said that they would never try to take away a 10-22 that looks like this, one of the other great things about the Ruger 10-22 platform has been around for so long and it's so popular that there's a lot of aftermarket support for it. There's tons of different accessories. There are different stocks you can get. There are chassis for it. Triggers. You can put a binary trigger in a 10-22. Franklin Armory makes one. And I think that would be a heck of a lot of fun because you have such low recoil. I think you'd be able to shoot it very fast while keeping rounds on target. And it's also just cheap. That's one of the problems. I have a binary trigger in my 11.5 inch AR pistol. But when you're shooting 5.56 with a binary trigger, it only takes seconds to go through $20. And it only takes minutes to go through $100. With 22 long rifle, I mean, 100 rounds is 50 rounds. It doesn't cost you hardly anything. You can plink it all day. And so I think I'm planning on doing a Ruger 10-22 build for the next build series on the channel. And this kind of got me excited about that again. And so I think that might be the next build for a couple reasons. It's not super duper expensive, although when you start coming to swapping out parts and things, it's going to cost some money for sure. But I think I could build out a pretty cool Ruger 10-22. I do want to put the Franklin Armory binary trigger in it. And I think it'll be a great gun, especially for my daughter to shoot, but also for me to shoot. So my daughter has a BB gun. She actually has this BB gun. This is your classic Red Ryder BB gun. And she loves that BB gun. This gun looks similar to her. It's got a wood stock, and I had her shooting it this morning, and she loved it. Low recoil, not a lot of noise. You can shoot it without ear protection if you want. And it's hearing safe, basically, 22 long rifle. I don't recommend necessarily running it without hearing protection for extended amounts of rounds or period of time. But you can. It's not nearly as loud as something like this. And it's just a fun gun to plink around with. And so I think it's time for me to get one myself. Now this one was loaned to me by a good friend, Leonard. Thank you very much, Leonard. I really, really appreciate you loaning me this for the review. And he kind of had it already all set up. He told me that this had been sitting in his shed, covered in dust, hadn't been fired for a long time. All I did was run a bore snake through the bore with a really, really, really light coat of oil on it a few times. Took it out this morning and the thing ran perfectly, which is a testament to the 10-22's reliability. So one of the fun things about 22 long rifle is you just get no recoil really to speak of. Very little sound. I'm not even wearing ear protection right now. But in a Ruger 10-22, it's very reliable as a semi-automatic, which makes it a heck of a lot of fun. Heck of a lot of fun. So here we have the Ruger 10-22 up close. Again, you can see what a difference it is between two 22 caliber cartridges. This is what the 1022 shoots, and it's a really fun little round. I love 22 long rifle, but the controls on this thing are classic, and they just plain work. So it's got a standard crossbolt safety. That's safe. That's fire. Your magazine release is right here. You push that in. We'll see how well we can do this on camera here, especially with my wrong hand. And there's your 10-round rotary magazine. But it also takes these. These are Ruger BX25 magazines. And they are 25-round, curved magazines, kind of like an AK curve to them. And they feed perfectly reliably. Just like everything else about the 1022 platform, very reliable. It's got a charging handle on the right side, kind of reminiscent of an AK as well. And no last round bolt hold open, also kind of reminiscent of an AK. My daughter keeps telling me that she thinks this gun is just like my AK, which doesn't shoot 7.62 by 39, but I see where she gets that. Let's take a look at this trigger and see how good that is. So we will derun the trigger pull gauge on the 1022, just because I just recently got this trigger pull gauge, and I'm testing out every trigger lately. £5.8 pounds. But let me try that one more time here. 5.8 pounds, pretty consistent. So the trigger isn't super duper light, but it's not bad either. I was able to shoot this relatively quickly, and that has a bit to do with the trigger, but it has more to do with the fact that it has such low recoil that you can basically keep your sights on target. Now, my buddy Leonard, who owns this, has a scope on it that is a 3 to 9 power scope. I was mostly running it on 3 power this morning, just because, for one, it gives you much better eye relief, but also where we were shooting, we didn't really have a whole lot of distance to back up to, and 3 power was plenty of magnification for the distance we were shooting at. It was very easy to shoot this thing accurately, and thank you, Leonard, for having a scope that was sighted in. It was right on target. The 1022 is, for a lot of people, their first actual firearm. It wasn't my first gun, but it's one of the first, maybe the first, semi-automatic rifle that I ever shot. Having this one for the last couple days just brought me back to growing up on the farm. We used to just hike around back by the river and just plink 22 at stuff, and it was a really great time. It just reminded me how fun guns just can be. While you do have to take guns seriously and be as safe as ever with them, there's a lot to be said for something that's just plain fun, and a 1022 is exactly that. Besides that, it's a platform that is highly customizable these days. With all the different aftermarket options on the market, you can basically make a 1022 whatever you want. They've got, carbine versions like this. They've got compact versions with a 16-inch barrel instead of an 18.5. They've even got 22 charger versions with a short barrel and, basically a pistol grip. Now, that's what I would really love to build. But at the same time, I only really want one of those if I could put a pistol brace on it or, SBR it. But do I really want to spend an extra $200 to SBR a 22 long rifle? Well, maybe. We'll see. I do want to build one that I think will be small, light, and easy for my daughter to carry around and shoot. Because I think that something about the 1022 makes it the perfect gun to teach your kids the importance of gun safety, how to handle and manipulate guns safely, and how to get good at shooting accurately. And so that's kind of my plan right now. I think fairly soon we might be getting a 2022, full time for the channel, and maybe start the build series on that, because I think that'd be a heck of a lot of fun. I think it's so much fun that I went through 100 rounds very quickly. That's 100 rounds. I'd like to thank Leonard again for loaning me this 1022 for review and for just plinking around. It was a heck of a lot of fun, and it brought back some great old memories. Now please, I would like you guys to let me know in the comments, what are your 1022 memories? Because I know that a lot of people that are into firearms kind of got their start with a Ruger 1022. And if you didn't, what was your first firearm? Please let me know down in the comments and just tell me what you think of it. I've been trying to decide for a while what kind of 22 I want to get for my daughter. I was really thinking about the Smith & Wesson M&P 1522, but again, what I really wanted was the pistol version which without the pistol brace, not quite the same. But it's also a semi-automatic 22 caliber. It has all the same controls as an actual AR-15 platform, which I think is great for teaching somebody how to manipulate an AR-15. But at the same time, there is something to be said for tried and true and a platform that is just known for its utmost reliability as a semi-auto 22 long rifle. So at this point, I'm leaning more toward the Ruger 1022, and this helped solidify that decision. So again, thank you, Leonard. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.